Are you unknowingly leaking your life force? And is pornography silently siphoning it away? What if that fleeting pleasure is actually costing you something far more profound? This isn't just about breaking a bad habit. It's about understanding how you're spending your most precious resource, your spiritual energy. When your spiritual energy is depleted, you're not just tired, you're more susceptible to illness, anxiety, and a pervasive sense of disconnection from yourself and the world around you. That creative block you've been battling might not just be a lack of inspiration, but a lack of energetic fuel. This is about reclaiming your power, not through judgment or shame, but through conscious choices that align with your highest potential. We live in a culture saturated with pornography, where it's often dismissed as harmless entertainment. But what if this normalization is masking a deeper energetic cost, a subtle form of spiritual manipulation that leaves you feeling empty and unfulfilled? I know this might sound far-fetched, especially if you're new to these concepts, but I encourage you to keep an open mind and consider the possibility that what feels so good in the moment might be subtly undermining your well-being. Think of spiritual energy as the fuel that powers your creativity, your passion, and your connection to something larger than yourself. In Taoism, it's called Kai. In Hinduism, prana, Wilhelm Reich termed it orgone, but regardless of the name, it's the life force that animates all living things. This energy is cultivated through practices like meditation, yoga, and spending time in nature, but it can be quickly depleted through stress, negative emotions, and, as we'll explore, overstimulation. Pornography provides a hyper-realistic and often unrealistic depiction of sex, a stark contrast to the nuanced and intimate experience of genuine connection. The more you consume, the more you crave, creating a cycle of dependence that drains your energy and weakens your will. Imagine millions of people constantly draining their spiritual energy through pornography. What kind of collective energetic field does that create? And how does that affect you? Pornography can warp your perception of sex and relationships, making it harder to connect with real people on a deeper level and hindering your ability to establish and maintain a fulfilling and meaningful relationship. But what if I told you that pornography isn't just a harmless pastime, but a subtle form of spiritual manipulation? What if there are hidden forces at play, subtly influencing our desires and behaviors? Is it possible that the pleasure you're seeking is actually masking a deeper need for connection and intimacy? Or that you're actually searching for something much deeper than momentary satisfaction? Are you truly in control of your desires, or are you being controlled by them? By understanding how pornography affects your spiritual energy, you can take control of your life and reclaim your vitality. Pornography can particularly disrupt the sacral chakra, which governs creativity, sexuality, and pleasure, and the root chakra, which is related to grounding, safety, and feeling secure. We'll also explore how, in tantric traditions, sexual energy is seen as a powerful force for spiritual transformation, but when it's constantly dissipated through pornography, that potential is lost. Pornography presents a distorted view of sex, often objectifying individuals and promoting unrealistic expectations. This illusion can make it harder to find genuine connection in real life. Ultimately, pornography is a constant search for external stimulation, but true happiness and fulfillment come from within. There are ancient techniques that were once known by all, but have been forgotten by most. Techniques that allow you to harness your sexual energy to fuel creativity, spiritual awakening, and personal transformation. In the next section, I'll share proven strategies for overcoming pornography addiction and cultivating a healthier relationship with your sexuality, as well as a deeper exploration into the deeper meaning of sexuality and how to create authentic, soul-nourishing connections with others. But before we dive into those techniques, let's pull back the veil a bit more on what spiritual energy actually is and how pornography specifically drains it. Is spiritual energy just some esoteric concept, or is there a way to actually quantify it? What if I told you that the energetic depletion you feel after consuming pornography is not just a mental state, but a measurable phenomenon. What if you could see the shift in your aura or measure the change in your body's electromagnetic field? While pinpointing spiritual energy with a single device remains elusive, the underlying principles are increasingly recognized. Biofeedback, for instance, measures physiological responses like heart rate variability, skin conductance, and brainwave activity, all indicators of your body's energetic state. A healthy, balanced system exhibits coherence and resilience, while a depleted system shows erratic patterns and difficulty recovering from stress. Think of aura photography using Kirlian cameras, which captures the electromagnetic field around living beings. While interpretations vary, these images often show a diminished or distorted aura after exposure to stressful stimuli. The presence of a strong, vibrant aura is often connected with health and vitality, while a weak or damaged aura may indicate energetic depletion. These technologies offer a glimpse into the measurable aspects of spiritual energy, validating the importance of preserving this vital force. Preserving this energy is paramount. A strong energetic field translates to a robust immune system, mental clarity, and emotional resilience. Conversely, depletion manifests as chronic fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, and a weakened immune system. Have you ever noticed how stress makes you more susceptible to illness? That's your spiritual energy reserves running low, leaving you vulnerable. But it's not just major events that drain us, but seemingly insignificant daily habits. Are you aware of the energy leaks that might be silently draining your vitality? Consider the subtle yet significant ways we unknowingly deplete our reserves. The constant barrage of notifications from our phones, each one demanding our attention, fragments our focus and drains our mental energy. Negative self-talk, those insidious inner voices that criticize and undermine our worth, create energetic blockages that manifest as low self-esteem and anxiety. Even dietary choices play a crucial role. Processed foods, laden with artificial ingredients and devoid of nutrients, provide a fleeting burst of energy followed by a crash, further depleting our reserves. What about environmental factors? Prolonged exposure to electromagnetic fields, EMFs, from electronic devices can disrupt our natural energetic rhythms, leading to fatigue and sleep disturbances. Chronic stress, poor diet, and constant exposure to EMFs create a perfect storm, silently siphoning away our spiritual energy. But how does pornography fit into this picture? How exactly does it drain our energy? Pornography acts as a superstimulus, hijacking the brain's reward system and creating an artificial surge of dopamine. However, this overstimulation comes at a steep energetic cost. Think of it like flooring your car's engine. You get a burst of speed, but you burn through fuel at an alarming rate. Similarly, pornography bypasses natural energetic pathways, creating a shortcut to pleasure that weakens our capacity for genuine connection and satisfaction. It's like building a detour around a flowing river. The river becomes stagnant, and the detour eventually crumbles. But the energetic consequences extend beyond mere overstimulation. Pornography creates artificial energetic connections, hooking you into specific individuals and scenarios. These connections, though illusory, can act like energetic cords, constantly draining your life force. Just as a psychic vampire feeds off the energy of others, these artificial connections siphon your vitality, leaving you feeling depleted and unfulfilled. Have you ever had intrusive thoughts or obsessive fantasies about someone you saw in pornography? That's the energetic connection at play, keeping you tethered to an illusion. These connections can manifest as intrusive thoughts, obsessive fantasies, and a feeling of being stuck, making it difficult to move forward in your own life. But the energetic drain doesn't stop there. Shame and guilt, often associated with pornography consumption, further deplete our reserves, creating energetic blockages that manifest as physical tension, emotional numbness, and a sense of self-loathing. These negative emotions act like energetic parasites, feeding off our vitality and leaving us feeling drained and disconnected. Is it any wonder so many people feel exhausted, and empty after watching pornography. Now, let's contrast this artificial experience with the energetic nourishment of genuine intimacy. Imagine the difference between a fleeting, shallow encounter and a deep, meaningful connection with another human being. The former leaves you feeling empty, while the latter fills you with warmth, joy, and a sense of belonging. Pornography offers a fleeting surge of excitement, but it lacks the essential ingredients of authentic human interaction: vulnerability, empathy, and shared experience. The fleeting pleasure of pornography pales in comparison to the deep satisfaction and nourishment of authentic human interaction. The shallow excitement of pornography cannot compare to the grounded joy of spending time in nature, feeling the sun on your skin and the earth beneath your feet. Where pornography drains, nature replenishes. Where pornography isolates, genuine connection heals. Where pornography creates a fleeting illusion of pleasure, natural sources of joy provide lasting fulfillment. Cultivating these natural sources of energy is essential for long-term well-being. Meditation, even just a few minutes each day, can calm the mind, reduce stress, and restore energetic balance. Yoga, with its combination of physical postures, breathwork, and mindfulness, can release tension, improve circulation, and revitalize your energetic field. Spending time in nature, connecting with the earth and soaking up the sun's rays can ground your energy and replenish your reserves. Mindful connection with others, engaging in meaningful conversations, and offering acts of kindness can foster a sense of belonging and uplift your spirit. Prioritizing these activities is not a luxury, but a necessity for reclaiming your spiritual energy and cultivating a life of vitality and purpose. What if the key to unlocking your full potential lies not in seeking external stimulation, but in cultivating inner peace and connection? But is this pursuit of artificial connection really impacting your reality? And if so, how can you regain your authentic power? Pornography, at its core, offers a false promise. The illusion of intimacy without the vulnerability, effort, and emotional investment required in genuine relationships. But beneath the surface of fleeting pleasure lies a profound sense of disconnection and isolation. How can you truly connect with another human being when the images you consume are often objectified, dehumanized, and devoid of any real emotional depth? Is it possible to build a lasting relationship on a foundation of fantasy? The performers in pornography are often reduced to objects of desire, their humanity stripped away, making it impossible to form a genuine connection. The unrealistic scenarios depicted in pornography create a distorted view of sex and intimacy, setting unattainable standards for real-life relationships. Have you ever felt inadequate compared to the images you see on the screen? That's the illusion at work, creating a sense of dissatisfaction and undermining your self-esteem. The more you seek this illusion of connection, the more you become trapped in a cycle of external validation, constantly searching for something outside yourself to fill the void within. Individuals may use pornography as a substitute for genuine human connection, seeking solace in a world of fantasy rather than facing the complexities and challenges of real relationships. But this substitution only deepens the sense of isolation and disconnection, creating a vicious cycle of dependence and despair. This dependence, this illusion, isolates individuals from genuine relationships, creating a chasm between fantasy and reality. The shame and guilt associated with pornography addiction further exacerbate this isolation, making it difficult to reach out for help or connect with others on an authentic level. The need to hide one's activities increases isolation, and social withdrawal makes it difficult to create lasting, real-world bonds. Real-world events, such as social gatherings or parties, become anxiety-inducing, and the user may experience a feeling of loneliness even when surrounded by others. But what about the impact on authentic sexual experiences? How does pornography affect our ability to connect with a partner in a meaningful and intimate way? How can one maintain an erection in real life or experience real intimacy when relying on artificial stimulation? Pornography can desensitize individuals to natural forms of stimulation, making it harder to enjoy sex with a partner. The constant bombardment of hyperrealistic images and scenarios can create unrealistic expectations, leading to dissatisfaction and disappointment in real-life encounters. Are you aware that the reliance on artificial stimulation can hinder your ability to connect with your partner on a deeper emotional level? This constant stimulation can create a cycle of unfulfillment. Pornography narrows the focus to visual stimulation, often neglecting the emotional and sensual aspects of intimacy that are crucial for building a strong connection. The chase to maintain the same degree of intense excitement can lead to a reliance on the visuals, leaving your real partner and real self in the dust. What if the key to unlocking true intimacy lies not in seeking external stimulation, but in cultivating vulnerability, trust, and emotional connection with another human being? What if sex with a partner is no longer enjoyable because pornography has distorted the pleasure? Cultivating genuine connections is essential for spiritual well-being. Building stronger relationships requires vulnerability, honesty, and a willingness to be present with another person. Fostering authentic intimacy involves creating a safe space for emotional expression, active listening, and mutual support. Joining local groups and meetups or clubs centered around shared interests can provide opportunities for meaningful interaction and connection. Prioritizing authentic human interaction over artificial stimulation is key to breaking free from the illusion of pornography and reclaiming your spiritual vitality. What if true fulfillment lies not in the fleeting pleasure of fantasy, but in the lasting joy of genuine connection? Contrast the idealized world presented in pornography with the realities of human connection and spiritual growth. In pornography, scenarios are often unrealistic, individuals are objectified, and emotional depth is non-existent. Real relationships, on the other hand, are complex, nuanced, and require ongoing effort and commitment. How can you reconcile these two worlds, and what are the consequences of living in a state of cognitive dissonance? This disconnect can lead to dissatisfaction and emptiness, even when consuming large amounts of pornography. Have you ever felt unfulfilled despite seeking constant stimulation? That's the illusion crumbling, revealing the emptiness beneath. The mental health effects stemming from this unreal expectation can create stress, trauma, and cause depression. A sense of self-worth can plummet as the illusion is chased. Seeking genuine connection is essential for true fulfillment. Encourage viewers to prioritize authentic human interaction over artificial stimulation. Joining clubs, social groups, and spiritual communities can provide opportunities for meaningful connection and support. What if the key to unlocking your full potential lies not in escaping reality, but in embracing it with vulnerability, authenticity, and compassion? But how do you break this cycle? How can you find freedom from pornography's addictive grip and reclaim your spiritual energy? The addictive nature of pornography stems from a complex interplay of neurological and psychological factors. Pornography hijacks the brain's reward system, releasing a surge of dopamine that reinforces the association between pornography use and pleasure. This creates powerful conditioned responses, making it increasingly difficult to resist the urge to consume pornography. Do you notice your mind creating connections that equate pornography use with pleasure? Are you aware of the triggers that set off these cravings? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards breaking free. Attempting abstinence can trigger withdrawal symptoms, including cravings, irritability, anxiety, and difficulty concentrating. These symptoms underscore the addictive nature of pornography and the underlying emotional needs that drive the addiction. Are you turning to pornography to cope with stress, anxiety, or loneliness? That's a sign that you're using it as a coping mechanism, creating a cycle of dependence and depletion. Individuals may turn to pornography to escape from difficult emotions, but this escape is only temporary, and it comes at the cost of their spiritual energy. But how does this addiction specifically drain your energetic reserves? This addiction drains spiritual energy by creating energetic imbalances and blockages. The constant seeking of external stimulation disrupts the natural flow of energy in the body, creating a state of energetic chaos. Just as a dam disrupts the flow of a river, addiction creates blockages that prevent energy from flowing freely. This cycle reinforces negative thought patterns and behaviors, trapping individuals in a spiral of shame, guilt, and self-destructive actions. Constantly seeking is an energetic drain, leaving you feeling depleted and disconnected from your true self. Breaking free from addiction is essential to reclaim spiritual energy. Provide encouragement and support for viewers who are struggling with pornography addiction. Breaking free from pornography addiction isn't just about abstaining from a behavior. It's about reclaiming your spiritual energy, rediscovering your authentic self, and cultivating genuine connections with others. What concrete tools can you use to stop the cycle? To illustrate, the initial pleasure of pornography leads to a cycle of craving, depletion, and further seeking. Have you noticed this pattern in your own life? Recognizing and breaking this cycle is essential for spiritual growth. Identifying triggers, developing coping mechanisms, and seeking support from others can empower you to break free from this destructive pattern. What support systems do you have in place, and how can you strengthen them? Breaking free from pornography requires a conscious choice and unwavering self-awareness. Empower viewers to take control of their lives and make choices that align with their values and goals. The transformative power of conscious choice and self-awareness allows you to create a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. You have the power to break free from the cycle of addiction and reclaim your spiritual energy. You have the power to choose a different path, one that leads to greater self-awareness, inner peace, and authentic connection. But if we're running on empty, how can we recharge? What practices can help us replenish our depleted spiritual energy and transform our lives? Various spiritual practices offer powerful methods for replenishing depleted spiritual energy. Meditation can calm the mind, reduce stress, and cultivate inner peace. Yoga, with its combination of physical postures, breathwork, and mindfulness, can release tension, improve circulation, and revitalize your energetic field. Breathwork techniques, such as alternate nostril breathing and diaphragmatic breathing, can balance your energy, improve focus, and promote relaxation. Grounding exercises, such as walking barefoot on the earth, can connect you to the earth's energy, reduce inflammation, and promote a sense of well-being. What practices resonate most with you? These practices cultivate self-awareness and inner peace. Meditation, for instance, can reduce stress, improve focus, and promote emotional regulation. It allows you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, creating a space for clarity and self-compassion. Yoga can increase body awareness, improve flexibility, and release emotional blockages. Breathwork techniques can calm the nervous system, reduce anxiety, and promote a sense of inner peace. Grounding exercises can connect you to the earth's energy, reduce inflammation, and promote a sense of well-being. Are you prioritizing these practices in your daily life? Consistency and discipline are key to reaping the benefits of these practices. Encourage viewers to create a daily routine that incorporates these practices. Even just a few minutes of meditation or yoga each day can make a significant difference in your energy levels and overall well-being. Consistency and discipline can transform your life. In addition to meditation and other spiritual practices, harnessing and transmuting sexual energy allows individuals to achieve self-mastery. The concept of sexual transmutation, taught in Tantra and other spiritual traditions, views sexual energy as a powerful force that can be harnessed and redirected for spiritual growth, creativity, and healing. Do not go into explicit details of Tantra, but talk about the basis of sexual energy. Rather than dissipating this energy through external stimulation, individuals can learn to channel it into higher pursuits, such as creative expression, spiritual practice, and personal transformation. Individuals can learn to control their desires, and channel their energy into higher pursuits, such as creative expression, spiritual practice, and personal transformation. This can lead to greater self-mastery and spiritual awakening. But is it possible to transform a habit into spiritual growth? This is a constant search for external validation and pleasure, not the cultivation of inner peace and spiritual strength. Contrast the fleeting satisfaction of pornography with the lasting fulfillment of inner peace and self-love. Self-compassion is a critical tool to enable growth and spiritual exploration. Shadow work requires courage and compassion, but leads to fulfillment. Cultivate these for true happiness and well-being. Prioritizing self-care, self-compassion, and personal growth over external validation will lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Practices that enable the acceptance of the shadow self and a feeling of self-worth include meditations that enable the user to understand their self-worth. What if the journey to spiritual awakening lies not in seeking external gratification, but in cultivating inner peace, self-love, and authentic connection? What if you are able to access what was once only available to an initiated few? Reclaiming your vitality leads to a more authentic, fulfilling, and empowered existence, liberated from the traps of artificial stimulation and disconnection. This is not merely about abstaining from pornography, it's about actively choosing natural sources of pleasure, connection, and that vital life force for sustained well-being. Remember the contrast we explored. The fleeting dopamine rush versus the grounded joy of a walk in nature, or the emptiness of a shallow encounter versus the warmth of genuine intimacy. Choose the forest. Choose authentic connection. True well-being lies in prioritizing the natural, not the synthetic. Prioritize the grounded feelings of nature over the false excitement of pornography. Discerning between the distorted world of pornography and the genuine connections of real life is not merely beneficial, it is essential. The idealized, often objectified scenarios of pornography stand in stark contrast to the complexities and nuances of authentic human interaction. Prioritize authenticity over fantasy. Remember that the former provides lasting fulfillment, while the latter ultimately leaves you empty and disconnected. Choose real, choose depth. Recognize the genuine connections in your life and nurture them. True fulfillment stems from cultivating inner peace, self-love, and spiritual strength, not from seeking external validation through artificial means. Reconnecting with your inner self is not just a feel-good exercise, it's a fundamental shift in perspective. Remember those meditations that enable an understanding of self-worth. Utilize these resources and prioritize self-care practices that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. True strength lies within, waiting to be cultivated. Turn inward. Discover your inner wellspring. True fulfillment comes from turning away from outside influences and turning towards your own spirit. Shift your perspective and view pornography not as a harmless pleasure, but as a potential obstacle to spiritual growth. Understand it as a drain on that precious life force, a force that fuels your consciousness, creativity, and overall well-being. Consider the wisdom of ancient mystery schools, like the Hermetics and Gnostics, who understood and revered sexual energy as a sacred power. For them, it was a tool for self-mastery, not a source of fleeting gratification. Harness this understanding and reclaim your divine potential. This is not merely a personal struggle, it's part of a larger spiritual battle for self-mastery. By reclaiming your vitality, you contribute to a more positive and conscious world, breaking free from the collective energetic field that perpetuates addiction and spiritual depletion. The energetic cords created through pornographic fantasies attach you to specific individuals and scenarios, but they also contribute to the world's collective consciousness. In severing these ties, you contribute to the betterment of all mankind. Elevate your understanding, recognizing that this issue is connected to larger societal and even cosmic forces. By reclaiming your vitality, you become an agent of change, empowered to transform not only your own life, but also the world around you. Remember the dopamine surges, chakra imbalances, and the potential for sexual transmutation. These are not isolated phenomena, but interconnected aspects of your energetic reality. By applying the knowledge and practices shared, you can break the cycle of addiction and depletion, moving toward a life of increased vitality, fulfillment, and spiritual connection. The journey is ongoing, and there will be challenges along the way. Embrace these challenges as opportunities for growth and self-discovery, knowing that the tools and knowledge you now possess offer a clear path forward. Remember that failure is a part of the process, and each attempt is a step in the right direction. Do not be discouraged by setbacks, but rather learn from them and continue on your path with renewed determination. You have the power to transform your life. You have the power to create a brighter future. Ponder deeper questions about the nature of sexuality, the power of connection, and the meaning of life. How can you integrate these concepts into your daily existence, transforming your habits and relationships in the process? In future content, we will delve deeper into sexual transmutation, tantric practices, the spiritual significance of relationships, advanced techniques for energy work and chakra balancing, and explore other ancient spiritual traditions that offer profound insights into the nature of reality. Share your experiences, insights, and questions in the comments section. Foster a sense of community by supporting each other on your journeys, creating a network of encouragement and inspiration. What practices have worked for you? What challenges have you faced? And how have you overcome them? By sharing your stories, you can help others find their own path to freedom and fulfillment. Take the first step towards reclaiming your vitality and creating a life of authenticity and purpose. Remember, the power is within you. As above, so below, as within, so without reclaim your divine birth.